Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and today we have a cheeky little book review for you, as you can tell from the title below. So we are reviewing The Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which is the first book in her new trilogy, which is called The Last Hours. Now this book is basically kind of a sequel and follows on from the Infernal Devices, so it is kind of Victorian England and whatever era comes after that, and it's all kind of about the Herondale family, so Will and Tessa, and then their kids that they have, James and Lucie. I will put a handy little, clip here. The only issue I have is she has so many books. I think that's near enough all of them. Like, where am I gonna... There we go. There's too many. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to know how I felt about this kind of long-awaited Infernal Devices sequel-esque trilogy, then just keep on watching. Alright, so if you haven't read the Infernal Devices, then I would say, I really recommend you read those first before you start this trilogy, because even though it doesn't it's not that important, there's a lot of references back to it, and you just won't really understand the relationship between Will, Tessa and Jem properly if you haven't read that. It's not essential, but it's highly beneficial for your understanding of this whole novel and the whole world. So just like every Cassandra Clare novel, it's written in the third person from each character's point of view. I think you nearly get every single character's point of view, and it focuses around, and the illustration focuses around these guys, and that point of view is always changing. So if you've not quite read her work before, it can get a little bit confusing, because I remember when I first read The City of Bones, I was constantly just a bit like, oh wait, who's speaking now? So it kind of gets a bit of getting used to, but once you're a few chapters in, then it's just easy to pick it up. Also, another thing she should have definitely included in this was a family tree, because it's been a long time since I've read the Infernal Devices. Also a long time since I've read the Mortal Instruments, and all these families are just so close. It's just, and then they're all cousins, so they're not actually living all in the same family, but they've all got the same last name, and it's just, if I were you guys and you're just reading this, I would actually write down everybody's names and who they are, because I got about halfway through and I was like, so she does foreground them before she kind of carries on with them. Once she tells you, it's okay, but it's just as the novel goes on, you just get really confused. So I would definitely write that down. And again, if you're familiar with Cassandra Clare's stuff, you'll know that she is so particular on the details. The descriptions of London are just ridiculous. You can tell that she's really researched old London and where things would have been, and that research really makes the whole thing come alive, I think. Now, I have to say, this did not grip me from the beginning as much as I thought it would. Now, I am obsessed with Cassandra Clare stuff. I love them. Whereas this one, I don't know, it just didn't get me. And thinking about it now, even though the end portion was just, whew, I loved it. But you kind of expect that from an ending, because it's all the climax, everything kind of comes together, all the mysteries and stuff become solved. But the beginning, I think it was just a little bit, it could have been shorter. It didn't have to be as stretched out, and I think because of that it just made it feel like it went on. And she's also a person for very long chapters, and that makes you feel like you've been reading the same thing for about 3 years when you haven't. So just bear that in mind. She kind of gives you the breadcrumbs and you can piece them together as and if you can, but there's a lot of secrets going about. Also, if you've not read Cassandra Clare before, you'll know that she is an author, especially in her more recent works, for Inclusivity. Now, considering this is Victorian England, you'd think they'd all be middle-class white shadow hunters, but not the case. So one of the main characters in one of the main families, Cordelia and her brother and mum, they are Persian. And it's really lovely in the way that she intertwines some of the Persian culture and language into the novel. There is a few homosexual characters in the novel as well, and again, Victorian England, even though obviously it was still a thing, it wasn't something that was quite talked about, and it is something that she is sensitive to, the fact of how homosexuality was perceived in that time. That sort of inclusivity that she brings is just really nice and refreshing, because it means that there's a wide range of people out there that can associate with these just badass Shadowhunters and warlocks and creatures of all sorts. So it's just nice, and I want to highlight that. The character of Tatiana Blackthorne, she's an interesting one. She's a bit of a trope, and she is kind of predictable, I want to say. She really reminds me, now I don't know if this is intentional or not, but Grace and Tatiana Blackthorne really remind me of Miss Havisham, and I don't know what the daughter's called, but in Great Expectations. And I feel like that's intentional, because in like the chapter, but yeah, I'll show you. So kind of in the chapter dividers and the part dividers, they've got little excerpts of Charles Dickens, assuming that she's kind of mirrored them both off Miss Havisham and the kid, because the way that is it Chiswick House, I think it's called, is where they live, is all very Great Expectations-esque. So it's cobwebs everywhere, the clocks have stopped at a certain time, and yeah, so I think that's intentional as it goes with the whole Victorian theme. But yeah, anyway, Tatiana, she just really gets me. She's really annoying, and I think she's quite predictable, just a bit of a trope, and even though I think she's relevant, I just think she could have been written better. That's all I'm going to say. The way she set this novel up is really good, considering there's going to be 2 more, because there is a lot of loose ends that have been dotted around, especially with Alistair, and don't know a lot about Matthew, who's his James Parabatai. There's things that's like alluded to, but I think the way she has done that has led to a really easy transition into the 2nd and 3rd novels, and also just makes you just like get so annoyed, because you know, you just want to know everything like right now, and you forget that there's going to be like 2 more. Okay, so that was my review of this lovely, amazing, beautiful novel. So overall I loved it. It was really good. There were the bits that did drag on, and I was like, oh come on, this is getting really long now, why has it got to be so long? And it didn't like kind of stick up to my expectations that I put in my head after reading The Dark Artifices. I think every single piece of work she's going to come out with now will be compared to how that other series made me feel. But the characters, the descriptions, the attention to detail, the storyline was a bit weird, but I don't think it was that strong. It was all consistent and easy. It's just an easy read. So all that said and done, it was a really good book, and I can't wait for the next 2 in the trilogy. If you enjoyed my review, please don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Oh my god, that's so bad. The mystery. I know what's going on here, and that point of all cute. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, I've just done that. That's like a